Go. All right. So I said that there were two, if you like, directions in the research. Horizontal, where you deal with the pillars of the case project, and vertical, where you deal with aspects of teaching and learning. Okay. Now, the teaching and learning aspects is where you examine, for example, methodologies. All right, and the methodologies are things or styles of teaching, but also something a little bit more detailed than just a style. Okay, where you examine specific schema. All right, and what I had mentioned to you was classification. Okay, causality, concrete modeling, and the connection between variables, or just variables. That's how I often write that. So you can have 4 or 5 schema that you could be looking at, and then in the 5 pillars, if you've forgotten, you've concrete preparation, you've got metacognition, cognitive conflict, social construction, and the one they don't seem to do much of in here is bridging. That's just connecting with the real world. Okay, so basically you can frame a research question by picking one of the pillars against one of the schema. So, for example, you could say, to what degree is metacognition addressed in lessons that try to emphasize concrete modeling? All right. You got it? No? Okay. To what extent? So that's a common opener for a research question. All right. You could say to investigate, to find out, to establish, to confirm. All right, they're all openers for a research question. Okay, and then what I'm suggesting is, this is like a toolkit now, you know, pick your opener, and then pick your pillar, and then pick your schema. Got it? All right, so I got 5 openers, I got 5 pillars, and I got 4 schemata, I think it's the plural, and we can add more in there, of course, because I didn't write them all down. Okay, get the idea?
To what degree is metacognition dealt?
Well, is metacognition emphasized in lessons concerning, well, concrete modeling, for example? Any of them? Okay. You all right with that?
Yeah.
You sure?
So we can change that around, like
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, you take the words and move them around, you know? This is how I see life a lot of the time, you know? It's pick and mix things, you know? All right. See, it's not complicated. No. It's, that stuff you get, you know, out there, that's complicated, all right? But here, in this group, it's simple, all right? And your research question, you should actually have a heading going, research question, and then write it, 1 sentence, and I'm happy if that's all that's on that page, all right? Because that just, no, seriously, because that's how I know you understand, you know? if you write a research question. It's one of the most important things. Okay. Okay, so that's the basis of putting together a research question. Let's have a look at how this would work in practice. So here's a toolkit. Okay. And over here in this column we have the determinator. We have a variable, which I was saying is the horizontal issue. We have the connector, and then we have the vertical issue, which is the schema. Okay, so very basically, you know, to what extent will cognitive conflict afford causality? Okay, so to what extent will cognitive conflict afford causality in fourth class in Ireland? Okay, that's be an example. To determine the role cognitive conflict has on ability in classification. Okay, so to determine the role cognitive conflict has in ability in classification. What about metacognition? To confirm whether metacognition is a viable methodology in understanding situations involving concrete modeling, and so on and so on. So that's just examples of some research questions. Okay, of course you don't have to always start with the small word to You can actually ask it can be in the form of a question with a question mark. Okay, and then of course what we're specifically dealing with is fourth class boys. So that's pretty neat. There's no difference between that. Okay, so I think that about finishes talking about research questions.